Alright, in this video I'm going to go over trend lines. I know there's a lot of information out here on trend lines. This will be my attempt to help clarify and simplify the process of using them. Where to draw them, how to draw them, and that sort of thing. If you do enjoy this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, as I do update information daily. First of all, I will state I'm not a huge fan of trend lines for reasons which I'll go into later. They do work until they fail. Just like any other trading system, you use it until it does not work anymore, then reevaluate. Alright, now we'll get to what is a trend line. A trend line is nothing more than a line drawn by the user that connects two or more points of data on a chart. There's two types of trend lines. You got uptrends and you have downtrends. Simple as that. First of all, this is a chart of Apple. Each candle here represents a month. The first trend that I do see here is essentially from this low here to this low here. There's also a downtrend a little bit later in the chart where you have noticeable peaks, which is essentially this line here. Alright, how they work, how to draw them. When you draw it, you want to include the price extremes. So you want to get as close to that detailed point right here as possible, and then do the same thing at your next level. So we're going to see how close that is. Zoom in here a little bit. And by getting these trend lines as close as possible, they will help you predict in the future as close as possible to the next potential setup. So you go ahead, draw that, extend it out, and see what happens. And as you can see, it did support price later on in the future. One time there, and then the next time it failed. And that does happen. Same thing with this downtrend line. It's pretty close. You get the idea. Once it touches this, the price comes up, touches the resistance here, and sells off again. So you can use them to trade against. I do not, for a couple of reasons I'll get into now. These lines, as I said earlier, are user generated. They're drawn by a person, by me, by you, by anybody in front of the chart that wants to use them. Now, not only are they subjective, but they also follow price. What do I mean by that? Well, in order to draw this trend line, you had to have two touches, 2 points of reference. Now, in all honesty, you could have done this to this point, right? Or this to this point. And extend it out, and you got multiple possibilities for trends here. It depends on what you see, and that's why I say these are subjective. I tend not to use them for the simple fact that there are more computers trading than there are people now. And something that's user generated is not necessarily able to be accounted for in a computer trading atmosphere. They're going to use something that is actually calculated by price, by volume, percentage of moves, anything that can be assigned a numerical value, not just a line here, a line there, all that kind of stuff. So with that in mind, use trend lines with a grain of salt. They're not going to be perfect, and they will work until they don't. And in my experience, I'd say the third touch is about all you get out of it. The fourth one typically will fail, and then you'll have to reevaluate.